Hey, what's good, people? What's good, man? Another video. Um, so I guess we're gonna get back to like regular content. Um, I don't wanna, what's it called? I don't wanna start like all that mgtow content again. But like the thing is, um, I don't know how to say this because I don't want to like be negative when I say it, but I like the fact, and this is why I write scripts too, so I can just say it. But I don't. To be honest, I'd rather kind of do these kinds of videos. But basically, like the society collapsed. Um, and we already went over this like 2 years. Like when I started the channel, it was 2020, and we were in the midst of COVID. So clearly that was like a societal collapse. But like now that I'm getting the context behind it, to be honest, I had just started getting the context at that time during 2020 because I had just dropped out of school. I was learning about healthcare throughout, from like age 17 to when COVID happened. And I was trying to do healthcare because even when I was a teenager and I was in high school, I could already kind of see, like I didn't call it societal collapse at the time because I didn't even really know what society was, more or less. I more just knew like my family and my local area. I didn't even know my local area that well, not gonna lie, because I was just pretty young. And then my family kind of moved around a little bit, so like we didn't really know. Like I wasn't in like one place from like when I was born the whole time, and then like oftentimes my like school was far from where I lived and stuff like that. So like it just because like we were moving, but yeah, but like basically now that I'm older, like I'm in my mid 20s, I can see, and we just like had a war too. So I'm understanding more now, like what society was, like what cultural hegemony was, what like the world order, the status quo, all that stuff, however you wanna say it. When COVID hit, like I was just learning about like what that even was. I didn't even really know what it was at the time. Like I just knew the conspiracy theories and all that bullshit, like New World Order and all that stuff, which like I laugh at now because like that was funny. And I'm glad I learned about that stuff like when I was in high school. But yeah, so I learned about like the scaffolding of that stuff during COVID. So now I don't even really call it because we've been in a collapse for like it's been a while that we've been in a collapse, dude. So like it wasn't even COVID. What that wasn't a collapse. COVID was just an act of war. Like COVID wasn't the collapse. Like that's not when it started, and that's it didn't initiate Jack. Like it's just if you were young, you saw COVID as something big. If you were old, like you didn't see COVID as like barely jack shit, dude. Like my parents didn't see COVID as anything really. Like it was just big to me and the people that were like young because we didn't know like the history, even the most recent history, we didn't even know. Like I was born in the 90s. So like if you were born in the 90s, that's probably, COVID was maybe a little bit of a shock to you. Like if you were born in like the late 90s. But if you were born like before the 90s, dude, I don't think COVID was that big because you had already seen 9/11. You had already been old enough to witness the housing market bubble, like maybe even the stock market bubble. Like I learned about stocks and all that bullshit like during COVID. But if you were older, you probably had time to learn all that other stuff. So it wasn't a surprise. So COVID was probably just an act of war, dude. Yes, but now the virus is now among us and stuff like that. If you had a good immune system, you probably already had like certain antibodies to try to like combat certain things like that. But like if you didn't, More like if you were just immunocompromised, so like your circulatory system wasn't like functioning as properly. Like so, like hopefully you didn't die, dude, is the thing. Like I'm hoping you didn't die. And that was also part of the reason for this video. Like don't start a war. That was gonna be the main thing I talked about. Like I wouldn't like don't start a war, dude. Like that's why I was gonna title it mgtow. I don't know, like I might like put no mgtow in the title. Like, I don't think it's worth it to start a war because the thing is, like people would just rather see you start it and then like, I mean, laugh at you until you kill people. Like, because then when you kill people, they can't laugh anymore. But they'd rather see you get mad so they can laugh. And then if you like do a bunch of destruction, then they can like try to remake the world order based off of the destruction you caused. Like so basically kind of take advantage of it. So, I wouldn't like start any fighting. And the thing is like Putin and all those dudes, like that war's still going on, man. So they already like over on the super east of the world compared to where I live. Um, like which is completely funny because like all of a sudden the west starts like so that's like the far east but like that's Russia, but then boom, like the west starts like right after that. So I don't know where the cutoff line is, like, but I'm in the west, so like on the super far east of the world they're warring and stuff. Like in the middle part of the world, like Africa and stuff, they've just been warring for like in certain regions for a while. On the western part of the world, it's just like economic destruction. Like they're not warring as much. Like there's just like huge bulk gaps and stuff. So like I wouldn't start like a fight over it necessarily, dude. Like, and I'll get into. I've already gotten into reasons like why you should like kind of stay a little bit motivated, like other than fighting, like motivated on things that aren't fighting. But like I wouldn't like try to like start the fight because people are just gonna laugh at you and then take advantage of the situation. So it's not worth it. Um, yeah, and that's kind of like mainly what I wanted to say. So we'll kind of continue like more regular videos because like, and I'll probably do the mgtow thing again because I kind of realized like how big that shit is, dude. Like this is a post-feminism world. Like we're entering the post-feminism world, dude. I could have another video on that later, but we're entering the post-feminism world. So like, dude, just like get ready. Don't fight on it because there's gonna be like way more rewards if you just like I'd rather just like keep learning now, and if you have a decent way of making money that's sustainable, do that while you're like waiting it out. And like don't get STDs, dude. Like please don't like get an STD. Don't go too wild out here, bro. Like I'd rather like wait this one out, dude. Like don't get an STD. But yeah, and don't fight. Don't like start a war or something. But yeah, man, that's it for me, dude. More content coming to you guys like pretty soon. So peace out, y'all.